So what's the easiest or fastest way for an organization to get started with XR? The second part to that, between AR, VR, XR, do you have a recommendation on one of those that would be easiest to implement?
Look, from our experience, just depending on which end of the scale you're going to start at, is it assisted or augmented, or is it mixed or virtual? I'd say an absolutely cracking device at a price point at the moment is the Meta Quest 3 headset. Yeah, I guess in the States it's about $500. Yeah, one of those devices will, if someone's not used VR before, will blow your mind, right? I've given it to some people who weren't supportive of VR and changed their mind overnight. Yeah, just the sheer scale of visibility inside the device to look at 4 different web browsers, shifting between applications with your eyes becomes really powerful. If you were to add that to Microsoft Mesh, which is a service now available that sits behind any 365 tenant, which is fundamentally free, there might be some licensing considerations, not expensive, then fundamentally you can get the ability of A, the device, and B, the immersive environment very quickly. Yeah. So that would be for the business that just wants to buy some devices, try it, and being able to showcase internally, which I think, again, is key to get stakeholder in engagement and involvement. At the other end of the scale, when you're looking to build applications in devices, you sometimes need to buy a device, and a piece of software that goes with it. And therefore, you've got 2 buying decisions to make. You've got which device do we need for which application are we going to run? Yeah, and that fundamentally probably needs a bit more expert advice. So I would say the easiest point is the cheaper the device, the easier it is to convince someone to buy it. Microsoft Mesh is there and you get the full power of immersive tech and what it'll do for you. From that point, you can then start to, apply that technology to use cases in your business. Yeah, but you've already got, yourself up and running with exploring immersive technology. That would be my advice.
Yeah, and I was about to jump in with that as well. Essentially, I think from a software perspective, Microsoft Mesh is definitely the way to go to get things up and running. It's really the easiest to this platform for any beginning use case.
So the last question is about cost. This might be a little hard to answer. I'm not sure if it exactly sounds like there's hardware costs or software costs. So if you could give the audience an idea, I know it might be a difficult question, but maybe give them a sense from your experience, Alex and Nabarshi.
So I can talk about the software costs, and maybe Alex, you can jump in with some of the hardware costs. So again, a full implementation is really hard to estimate because each company and each use case is very different. But I can say that most implementations start off with a prototype phase where we're building out a very limited use case and we're working on a limited set of data, and then based on the results of that, we expanded to multiple use cases. Most prototypes cost in the $25,000 to $50,000 range, and then obviously at the end of it, you have the prototype, but you also have a fairly good plan and idea for the overall implementation going forward. So that's, again, on the software side. Hardware is very obviously the number of devices makes a lot of difference, but Alex, maybe you can jump in and say what the average cost here is from a hardware perspective.
Yeah, I think anyone's going to be accepting the price point, probably $800 and upwards for some of the assisted devices. And with the really powerful devices, you can be up to $10,000. Middle of the road, really powerful Microsoft HoloLens and Magic Leap, circa $3,500 to $4,000. Yeah, just subject to where you're buying it from. So again, this is back to the point of you're looking to choose your device relative to your use case. Yeah, for me, a frontline worker is not really going to wear a device like a Magic Leap or HoloLens, but would be much more suited to something like a Vuzix, which again is fundamentally cheaper. And this software will range, right? Specifically with Simply Video software, we charge an entry-level point of $500 for our remote assist licensing that goes with it. But I agree to your point. So for maximum benefit, I would like businesses out there who are looking at this to consider the XR plus AI route and getting their hands on a proof of concept where they structure some data and make that data available, which is probably back to your point of the entry level proof of concept being $25,000 to $30,000 to set that up.